Hello everyone, it's Al from Exiles, and today I'm going to be bringing you Phantom Knights. Now, this deck has gained a lot of popularity recently, in no due part to the amazing support it got from Phantom Rage, and the ability for it to special summon one of the most powerful Xyz monsters ever printed. And let's just start talking about the deck, because it's a deck I really enjoy. And not only that, Phantom Knights as well is it can be used as an engine. It's been seen as engines in so many different decks: Orcust, Burning Abyss, like Dark Warrior Turbo, like everything you can name of that uses generic dark support monsters, rank 3 support, stuff like that, has seen this archetype be thrown in, and I really like it. So let's talk about the deck, shall we? Alright, so first off, we're going to play 3 copies of the Phantom Knights of Torn Scales. This card is just brilliant because it can let you discard a card to send a Phantom Knights card from your deck to the graveyard, and it can also special summon itself from the graveyard if another Phantom Knights card is banished from the graveyard while it's in there. So this card can, it can be your extender, it can be your starter, it can just do whatever you want for it. And another good thing is the price tag of this card has gone down a little bit recently. The deck was able to take some quite considerable online top cut spots, especially during the Drytron VW cluster of whatever that was, that disgusting format with just VW turbo VFD turbo pass. But it managed to put in the work, and this is a perfect example of what good support should be in an archetype. 3 Silent Boots, staple 3 of, can special summon itself from the hand if you control Phantom Knights, as well as the fact that you can banish it from the graveyard to search for a Phantom Knights spell or trap. Something you never want to go without. 2 copies of Cloak. This card is kind of a garnet because you don't really want to see it in your hand, you want to see it in the graveyard more often, because by banishing itself you can search for the Phantom Knights card from your deck, which is pretty awesome. Just bear in mind it has to be the Phantom Knights and not just Phantom Knights, so this card can't search things like Fogblade. It has to have the Phantom Knights in its name, so yeah, mostly the monsters. 2 copies of Ragged Gloves. This card, if uses Xyz material, it can grant the monster it's attached to 1000 attack, as well as the fact that if you banish it from the graveyard, it can dump a PK card from your deck to the graveyard, which is awesome. And really helps get you around those sort of tight spots where you might not have enough attack to defeat your opponent's monsters, or if you just want to go on other recursive traps in the graveyard to bring back your Phantom Knight monsters. 1 copy of Stained Greaves can special summon itself from the hands if a Phantom Knight monster is special summoned to your field. Works pretty well with cards like Shade Brigandine, so if you special summon the Phantom Knight Shade Brigandine, you can summon it from the hand, which is really awesome. So yeah, that works, as well as the fact that you can banish it from the graveyard to special summon a Phantom Knights monster from your hand. Not to mention that if it special summons itself, or if it uses its own effect to special summon another Phantom Knights, it can increase that monster's level by 1, which helps you go into some cool rank 4 plays. Next up, pretty good starter here, one of the best ever created, Tall Guide from the Underworld. By normal summoning it, so you can bring out a level 3 Fiend monster from your hand or deck, which is awesome. Primarily, you will be summoning pretty much the only 2 targets in your deck, Graph and Seer. You will special summon the Graph from your deck using Tall Guide to link off into Cherubini. You will use the Graph to bring the Seer out, and then you will use those 2 after using Cherubini's dump effect to go into Bardiche, bring back the Cherubini with Bardiche, and then carry on with your combo that way. Double Kagami Knight, another nice little extender. You can run any number of this card, but I think 2 is pretty good. This profile is heavily inspired by certain top deck cuts, but it's taken a more budget approach to the deck profiles. 1 Tracker, 1 Wielder. Again, if I had another wielder, I'd play 2 wielder, but Tracker's just as good enough as a replacement. The only difference being is that it's not a tuner. You can use that to go into your synchro play, or if you have to summon a hand trap, you can use that as well to synchro summon. 2 level 3 danger extenders, you only need 1 of each of these. Amazing to see in your hand, helps get your resources into the graveyard where they want to be. Summons themselves, they're awesome. 3 Ash Blossom for your main form of disruption. Double DD Crow, again, these can be interchangeable and swapped around for any back row or disruption you have. If you have the money for cards that are like staples now, then play those. If not, you can exchange them for whatever you like. Triple Chalice, I really like playing this card because in certain situations, I prefer playing it over Imperm, because for Imperm to work going second, you have to control no cards, and you know, sometimes you'll open a danger and you'll use the danger and you'll draw into an Imperm, and then you'll be like, okay, now I can't activate that Imperm straight away to negate my opponent's monsters. So, but if you draw into a card like Forbidden Chalice, well, there you go. You can use on your opponent's monsters, bait things out, and hopefully push forward. Double Book of Moon. I really like this card at the moment because just it can be used both going first and second as a disruption option, as well as the fact that if you flip a starter card face down, they can't really carry on unless they have other extenders in the hand, which is pretty awesome. 1 Phantom Knight's Rank Up Magic Force. This card is phenomenal. I'm just going to say it now. It made it so it used to be that you'd have a card like the Phantom Knight's Rank Up Magic Launch, which would only be able to be used on a Dark Xyz with no materials. And it gave it some extra sort of protection and stuff. But with this, you can just banish any number of dark monsters from the graveyard, rank up from a Dark Xyz that was into a higher rank of Xyz Dragon, Phantom Knights, or Raid Raptor monster, according to the number of monsters you banished. Meaning that if you have a Dark Rebellion with full materials on it, you can just instantly rank up as a quick play into Dark Requiem, which will have 3 materials on it. And I'll explain why that's so important when we talk about the card in the extra deck. 1 E-Telly and 1 Rota. I'm playing E-Telly because it gets your Psychic starter card out of the deck. You can change it out for a disruption card if you like. I like it at 1. It's a cool card. Triple Fogblade. This card is silly. It's a Fiendish Chain. You can't attack opponent's monsters that are under this card, but if it ends up in the graveyard, you can banish it to bring back a Phantom Knights from your graveyard. Wing, once per turn, can protect one of your monsters from battle or card effect, as well as the fact that you can also banish it from the graveyard to bring a PK back. And by this time, we all should know what Shade Brigandine does. It can special summon itself as a trap monster and can be used to turn it set if you have no traps in the graveyard. Level 4. Okay, so let's talk about the extra deck now. 1 Bardiche, pretty self-explanatory. This card was banned for a little while, quite notorious in Orcus builds with the double pop ascend effect. It's just so good. It can pop a card on the field if a Dark Xyz is special summoned to a zone it points to. It can dump a PK to set a PK spell or trap to your spell and trap zone. The only drawback is it can't be used as link material. It's 2100 attack link 3. It's a perfect card and it helps facilitate so many of your disruption and combos. It's unreal. Cherubini. This helps your 1 card combo go straight into the Bardiche and Requiem plays, or 1 or 2 cards depending on what you open. You got Nightmare Unicorn and IP Masquerena. Again, it's important to note that if you have these on field and are planning on going into Dark Requiem with the rank up, you want to be firing this off first, if at all possible, because once you use that rank up magic, you're locked into Xyz monsters until the end of the turn. Double Break Sword. This card is sort of the bread and butter of the deck. It has an effect that lets you detach a material to pop 1 card on either player's sides of the field. Normally it will be popping itself to bring back 2 Phantom Knight monsters from the graveyard, and then increases their levels by 1. And then you can go into a rank 4 play, and then rank up through that. 1 copy of Raider's Knight. This is primarily used to go into your Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon here. you can detach materials from it to rank up or down into a Phantom Knights or Xyz Dragon monster. Or Raid Raptor monster even, which is pretty awesome. Arc Rebellion is a silly card that basically, if it has a Dark Xyz material, by detaching a material from it, can't be destroyed by card effects as well, it will gain the attack of every other monster, the original attack of every other monster on the field, mind you. And then if it has a Dark Xyz attached to it, it's a mass skill drain, which is cool. Really helps get rid of those pesky monsters like Dragoon, which is awesome. Dark Rebellion, primarily here to go and rank up into Dark Requiem, but its effect can come in sometimes, which means you can detach 2 materials from it, target a face-up monster your opponent controls, its attack is halved, and then it gains the attack that was lost. Now, Dark Requiem. Why is this card so stupid now? Long story short, it has to have Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon as a material to be able to do anything. So, first and foremost, once per turn, you can detach a material from it to target a face-up monster your opponent controls, change its attack to 0, and then Dark Requiem gains the attack equal to the monster's original attack. A really good effect. But once you start looking at its second effect, that's where things start getting a bit crazy. Now, while your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can detach a material from this card to negate the activation if you do destroy that card. Then you can special summon 1 Xyz monster from your graveyard. This is not once per turn, meaning you can negate up to 3 times if you use the new rank up magic and you have Dark Rebellion as material, as well as being able to summon your cards like Breaksword that are in the graveyard, which will then in turn be able to revive more of your dead Phantom Knights when your opponent decides to crash into it. Meaning that your opponent has to play this game of, is it worth destroying that 1 Breaksword, or do I wait for my opponent to invest into more plays? So this card is a massive threat on the board, and it also helps promote this thing where your opponent wants to get rid of the Dark Requiem as quick as possible. So they're going to want to look into things like kaijus, like Dark Rule No More, things like that. But not only that, it's a massive body, and yeah, it's a silly card. And I'm sorry I've only got it in common. I have been looking for a secret rare version because it looks awesome. But yeah, Dark Requiem is a silly card. Levier is a rank 3 that helps bring back your banished cards, really useful. Gossip Shadow, rank 3 that can essentially form as another monster negation. Nightmare, because it's like a double Book of Moon, which is pretty cool on special summon monsters, nice form of disruption there. Abyss Dweller, because hey, if your opponent's going to be Abyss Dwellering you and you can't use your effect, you may as well repay the favour. And 1 Coral Dragon as a level 6 synchro that you can synchro summon, destroy your opponent's cards and get some value like that. But anyway guys, that has been the video. I hope you've enjoyed. Again, this is a much more budget approach and budget friendly approach to Phantom Knights. I still believe the deck puts in a lot of work even without cards like Forbidden Droplet and cards like Lightning Storm and things like that. But yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video where hopefully we'll be covering something new. Thank you very much. Peace.